All right, right now, I want to bring on somebody that's near and dear to the city, that's probably been near and dear to a lot of you lives. You seen him on CNN, C-SPAN, doing it real big on the floor of Congress and everything, man. Motivational speaker. Yeah, Cedric Riley, man. Growth of a human being. These guys got the acronym PEN. You guys want to explain what that's all about?
Well, the notion that we are experiencing in our neighborhoods is that when you walk out of the house, there's no one to relate to you. When you get to school and you walk in with your heart and your mind on your shoulders, there's no one to relate to you. And when you walk out the doors of the school, through the parking lot, through your neighborhood, back home to go home with your homework, there's no one to relate to you. And far too many of our brothers and sisters are ending up in what we like to call the pen. And so what we courageously decided to come together to do was to create a place where you can come when no one else can relate to you, where you can come when you want to understand what it means to be you and be right while you do you.
We all heard Biggie. Either you got a wicked jump shot, you slinging crack rock, or you got a wicked jump shot. Yep. Y'all heard of that, right? I mean, so now you coming up in sports and everything like that, how important was it for you to have someone pushing you and leading you into the right direction?
Well, that testimony is very strong for my life.
Right.
I grew up in the inner city like most young black males.
Right.
I had to endure wretched foster homes, physically and mentally abused while going through foster care.
Wow.
And I recall being a young man who didn't even like sports.
Wow.
I had a father, actually, who was in prison. Didn't know him. He entered my life.
Biological father?
Biological father.
Okay.
Who entered my life at the age of 15. Okay. I looked that man in his eyes and I promised him that I would make a change in my life at that time. Not meaning it, but at the very next day that man died of a heart attack. Wow. And I had to deal with the fact that I looked that man in the eyes, hiding the fact that I truly, really wanted a relationship with that man. So what did I do? I was 8th grade, decided to try out for the basketball team because from my understanding, my father was a basketball player. So during my lifetime at that time, I was involved in a lot of negative things. Okay. Decided to try for the basketball team in 8th grade. Never picked up a basketball. And this is why God is so powerful in my life. Right. I never picked up a basketball.
That's amazing.
I picked up a basketball in 8th grade, and I made the basketball team. And no one believes this, but it's the truth. I picked up that basketball, I made that team, and I averaged 30 points a game. And what I realized was the fact that it took my father dying to bring out something that God had put in me that was already there all along. I just needed that situation to bring it out of me.
What is the biggest thing in your minds, and I want both of you to answer it. Okay. What's the biggest thing in your mind is hindering the growth and potential of a human being in what is called the ghetto?
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, a lot of people say that for those who grew up in the inner city, you're a product of your environment.
Right.
But then again, just like I stated, you're not necessarily a product of your environment because the things that you see, the things that you witness, the things that you go through that hurt you the most, right, that push you into a corner, does not have to result you into selling drugs, knocking over folks, pimping, prostituting your body. That's right. It doesn't have to result in that way. Right. All of those things I've always stated, the fact that everything that was built to knock you down was actually created to build you up.
Yeah. Speaking toward the question that you asked, why is there such a hard time in our communities when it comes to achievement and working together and loving one another and just being able to uplift your other brother or your other sister? That is a problem of ours from my perspective or from a perspective because we don't understand that we don't have anything to prove. Right. You know, somebody loves you a lot already, and that's your mom and dad and your family. So your existence, and we spoke about looking inside and allowing that inside to blossom, is what we need to know is already there. We don't need to prove that it's there. We don't need to argue with anybody over it being there. Just know that you have something amazing inside of you, and that you don't have to prove it or fight for it or defend yourself against it, but believe in yourself.
That's right. Yeah. You can change some of the things that's going on or some of the things that you guys been through to prevent people watching this going through that. How do you think you can...
Right. Well, you know, that's the magic of this entire situation is that, you know, I took my experiences and I put it in a way that makes sense for others. Wesley took his experiences and he put them in a fashion that makes sense to others. Our other partner, Wanda, took all of her experiences, those heartfelt, passionate experiences, and formed them in a way that other people can understand how to make sense of them. So whereby we begin to help our young people make sense of life, no matter what it takes, how we need to speak to them, where we need to meet them at, where they are, then this is what we're going to do. We're going to establish a universe that's going to close the achievement gap. Right. That universe is going to be do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Yeah. Anything you could possibly say from bass to soprano, from left to right, from serious to polite, from mom to dad or dad to mom, you're going to be okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to respond to you. For your dough, do you need some dough? Well, here's the financial outlook.
Are you guys on the web?
Oh, we're all over the web. Someone should Google Cedric Riley. Someone should Google Wesley Fluellen and check out this this is the best basketball player I've seen, but somebody should Google who we are. And after that, somebody should send us an email and tell us to come empower their children and tell us to come prove to their social workers why success is a choice. And that's us to come prove to their social workers and foster parents and all the people involved why and how success is a choice. Because we have a way of meeting our children where they are no matter what they say. And we call that the pen.